As Dr. William Painter with Journey Road Ministries, welcome to my new digs. You see, I've got nice anime set over there. It's oh golly, what is the name of that? Steins Gate. That's what it is. And then I've got Your Name over there. And then, of course, the obligatory Alliance from World of Warcraft. Anyway, the song I'm doing today is by Phoebe Bridgers, lovely artist, very talented artist, wonderful voice. She is on and off again with a group called Boy Genius. She actually did a version of this song that's called Kyoto. Did a version of this song with Jackson Brown. He sang some backup vocals, backup vocals. I don't know what the right word is. I'm not a musician. I don't care. So I'm going to play this song, and then we've got a little sermon to do after the silliness. All right, let me get squared up here. There we go. Day off in Kyoto, got bored at the temple, looked around at the 7-Eleven. The band took the speed train and went to the arcade. I wanted to go, but I didn't. You called from the payphone, and they still had payphones. It cost $1 a minute to tell me you're getting sober, and you wrote me a letter, but I don't have to read it. I'm gonna kill you if you don't beat me to it. Dreaming through Tokyo skies, I want to see the world. I flew across the ocean and I changed my mind. Sunset's been a freak show on a weekend, so I've been driving out to the suburbs to park at the Goodwill and stare at the chemtrails with my little brother. He said you called on his birthday, you were on by like 10 days. She took a few points for trying. Remember getting the truck fixed when you let us drive it. 25 felt like flying. I don't forgive you, but please don't hold me to it. Born under Scorpio skies, I want to see the world through your eyes until it happened. And then I change my mind. Guess I lied. I'm a liar who lies, 'cause I'm a liar. Not too horrible. Okay. See.
That silliness is over with. Got my Shaw from India. And today is the second Sunday of Lent. And our reading comes from Mark chapter 9, verses 2 through 9. 6 days later, Jesus took with him Peter and James and John and led them up a high mountain apart by themselves, and he was transfigured before them. And his clothes became dazzling white, such as no one on earth could bleach them. And there appeared to them Elijah with Moses, who were talking with Jesus. Then Peter said to Jesus, "Rabbi, it is good for us to be here. Let us make dwellings, one for you, one and one for all. He didn't know what to say, for terrified. Then a cloud shadowed them, and from the cloud there came a voice, "This is my son, the beloved. Listen to him." Suddenly, when they looked around, they saw no one with them, but only Jesus. As they were coming down the mountain, he ordered them to tell no one about what they had seen until after the Son of Man had risen from the dead. Okay, that's our passage. I love this passage because a kind of a remarkable event happens. Jesus takes three disciples. They go up in a mountain, and you know, every time that in the Bible, every time in Scripture, that if there's a mountain involved, something interesting is going to happen. So they go up this mountain, and bam, he's transfigured. He's dazzlingly white clothing. Moses and Elijah are there, and the poor disciples, they're like, I mean, can you imagine being one of them? I mean, they're just going to be dumbstruck, right? I mean, they don't know what to say. They don't know what to do. So they say, "Hey, let's build a monument." Which, I just have to say that that's really funny, because why would you do that? And yet, Jesus tells them, "No, dude, don't build a monument. Don't even say anything to anybody until don't even say anything to anybody until after I've died and come back to life. Then you can tell people." And I suppose they held to their word on that. But the reason I like this passage so well is because so many of our Christian-like churches, or churches and denominations and people who call themselves Christians, they make a big show of it. I mean, they pray in public. They have prayer chains. Some kids get murdered in school, and instead of trying to do anything to change it, they say, "Oh, thoughts and prayers." They want the Lord's Prayer in public spaces. They want kids praying in school. And yet this very, very, Jesus was a modest, humble human being. Okay? He was a modest, humble person. He healed. Sure, he gave the Sermon on the Mount, which was very, sure, he fed the 5,000. All right. Sure, he threw out nets and gathered men and women. And he had quite a following. And his message was revolutionary. His message was not, "Hey, let's take over Rome." His message was not, "Hey, let's conquer the world. Hey, let's make my new religion the most important religion ever." He kept it quiet. He kept it on the down low, as it were, because I think he felt the message would speak for itself. You shouldn't have to tell people you're a Christian. You should just be, and just by being that person of faith should be sufficient. You don't need a flag. You don't need a bumper sticker. You don't need a fish. You don't need anything except to do what Jesus said for us to do. And that is to love your neighbor and love God. And that's just pretty much it. And if you can do that, that's plenty. That's enough. That's sufficient. That's more than I can do. Okay. I mean, sometimes I love God and sometimes I'm really angry at God. I sat and watched my mother pass away this last couple of weeks, and she was in a hospital bed gasping for air, and it wasn't easy on her. And we tried to make her comfortable. We gave her drugs to make her passing as comfortable as possible. But it was hard, And moments like that, I'm thinking, why God? Why would you make it like this? She's not going to learn anything from this experience. I'm not going to learn anything from this experience, except it's better to die in your sleep than die screaming. Why? Why does it have to be hard? And then I think, and I reflect, and I think, well, there are things I can't know. And I go back and love God for what God has given us, all the miracles that are surrounding us, all the little things, the taste of ice cold water, which I'm really quite partial to, the taste of a good bourbon, the taste of a good wine, the smile on a child's face. I just think that they're so pure in many ways. They're just happy and joyful and all those kinds of things. So what I want to do is I want to emphasize to you the message today is be like Jesus. Don't tell anybody. You don't have to make a big show of it. This Christian nationalism is not the way to go, folks. It's not. It's not Christian. It is nationalism, but it's not Christian. Being mean to LGBTQ plus people. I just read today or yesterday about some Oklahoma politician referencing his poor child that was beat to death because she's non-binary. What a hard way to go in this world. And her high school students, they beat her to death. And his response was, well, we don't need that filth in my state. No Christian can say that. No Christian can say that. That man is not a Christian. I don't care what he calls himself. I don't know what he is, but he's not like, okay? That's not what God put us here for. That much I know. The way to heaven is for us to love each other, not to hate each other and breed hate and breed distrust and suspicion. Anyway, that's my message for today. Hope you enjoy the song. I really encourage you to go listen to Phoebe Bridgers yourself. She's got a beautiful voice, and my wife thinks she's a little whiny. I just think she's nice, and I love her melodic tunes. And go love, go do. God bless. Give up hate for Lent. All right. Bye. See you on the flip side.